In this video, I'm gonna show you the exact system I use to send 70 DMs every single day on Autopilot. If you're a serious producer, you probably have spent years trying to get artists to reach out to you consistently. You've posted every week on YouTube, but your views are stagnant or even dropping, and the sales are good passive income at best, but not enough to quit your job. You've posted on Instagram or TikTok consistently, but the artists that reach out aren't that serious and still want cheap beats. And you've tried reaching out, sending DMs yourself, but end up burning out eventually because you don't have a reliable system. If that sounds like you at all and you want your inbox filled up day by day consistently with beat buying artists, I'm gonna show you how I got sales like this last month and like this with only 90 minutes of work and not sending a single DM myself. This also worked for my student John, who got an $8,000 a month using this exact system. And we do this by using virtual assistants, or VAs for short. I'll cover the system step by step, so by the end of the video, you'll be able to set this up for yourself and run it on Autopilot. So today we'll cover what is a VA and when do I actually need one? Where do I find good cheap VAs? How do I interview and hire them quickly? How to train them in 5 hours or less? How to give them access to your IG without them knowing your password? What is a proxy and why you need it? And how to manage profitably in only 20 minutes a week. So if you don't know who I am already, I am a Grammy-winning music producer, platinum selling producer. I've been on the Billboard Top 100, and I've been a full-time producer for 5 years. But while I'm proud of that, I'm more proud of the fact that I've helped over a dozen producers get their first $2,000 week using my rapid sales system here. And if you want to skip the technicalities and have me hire, train, and manage your VA entirely done for you and personally teach you my rapid sales system, you can book a free call in the description or the pinned comment. So what is a VA and when do I actually need one? So a VA already stands for virtual assistant, as you know, and they're designed to offload tasks that take up a lot of time and or energy inside of your beat business. And so what you really do not want to do is offload this before you've mastered each skill in your business. And really the only three skills are finding artists, reaching out to them effectively, and getting sales. And once you've already done all three of these things, then you can go and give it to somebody else who can do it 100% as good as you. Now, if you haven't mastered these three skills, then it won't make any sense because you're not making enough money from your beats to hire the VA, and they're just going to get more of the same result that you're already getting right now. And if you need this sheet to hire your VA, simply comment VA below and then I'll send it over to you for free. Now, what can a VA do for you? Well, they can find artists for you. They can send the initial messages for you. They can handle your entire DM inbox for you on Instagram. And if you sell beats with calls like me for $1,000 or more, they can just set up these phone calls for you completely so that all you have to do is get on calls with artists and sell the beats and then make music. So if that sounds appealing to you, you might ask, well, when would I actually need one? When does this make sense to go and hire them really cheaply? Well, option A is that you have no time because you're already doing this full time. You have too much work from artists on your plate. So you're doing a lot of custom orders, you're doing mixes, you're doing mastering, you're selling leases, and you're doing all of these things and making enough money to live full time, but you're not quite at your income goal. And it just doesn't really make sense to go and do more than what you're doing already because you got into doing producing full time so that you could be more creative, not spend more time working. So this would be where you go and offload to a VA. Option B is you're not quite full time, but you're already making decent money from your beats online. So you're making around $1,000 a month from your beats, and you have time, but you don't want to use that to build your business. You want to leverage a VA because you already are getting sales and you know how to, but you don't want to send the DM specifically. So instead of doing this hard grunt work, you are going to just hire the VA instead so that you can focus on making more music and getting more sales, if that makes sense. So the overall point is that you're buying back your time so that you can focus on the high leverage tasks because DMs are low leverage, meaning somebody can do them for you, but the high leverage task is going to be working with artists and making your production, which is something that you cannot go and outsource. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, you need to know where you can find them for cheap and how much that you're going to be paying them. So I pay my VA $350 per month. So that's $175 every 2 weeks via PayPal. And so this is the average salary in the Philippines. It's absolutely ethical to do this, and they expect to be paid this much, and they're happy to do it. And so a lot of times they'll have to travel hours by bus on very dangerous, bad roads to get into a town that offers them jobs that pay this wage or higher. So you're giving them an opportunity to work from home if they have a stable internet connection, and all they need is a laptop and a phone, which they already have, and they can make a competing wage without risking the danger to travel into the city. So that's why I pay them that much. You can see I sent $175 for cold outreach here. I do that every 2 weeks. And I either find VAs from Fiverr, from Upwork, or from my personal favorite, Online Jobs PH. And the reason why I don't use Upwork and Fiverr is because when I've hired VAs from there, they just don't do a very good job, because even though they're trying their best, there's a lot of language barriers, and they honestly just are not at the level of intuition that I want. And so it's really hard for them to do the tasks that I want them to do. So instead, I hire them from Online Jobs PH so that I can actually interview them and really see who I'm hiring. And it's very, very simple to do. So you can just go on there and start making job posts right now if you wanted to. So now that you know where to find them, you need to know a process for how to interview and hire them without spending a bunch of time or energy doing this. And so it's very, very simple. It's just all completely free tools. You're just going to use Calendly and Google Meets. And so if you aren't familiar with Calendly, it's just a calendar software that's free, and it connects with Google Meets, or you can use Zoom, and that way you can go and put it directly onto your calendar for meetings. And I just meet for about 10 minutes at a time with them, and I ask them very, very simple questions like, tell me a bit about yourself, what made you want to apply, previous experience, and if they're working any other jobs, because if they are, then it might not be ideal to work for you because their attention is split. Graveyard shift just means that they're working nighttime for them, daytime for you, so that you get a higher open rate on your DMs. And then you never want them to not be okay with pay, so just ask them if the pay is okay, and they'll either ask for a raise or they'll say it's okay with them. So the only 3 things you need is just to put in a job application on the site, make a test task so that you know that you're hiring somebody that's already good at the job and not somebody who's just promising they can do it. And then you give them an offer letter that says they're hired, essentially. So this is John's actual interview, and remember, he hired a VA and was able to make $8,000 in his best month doing this. So he'll average between $2,000 and $8,000 a month. He does this full time. So you can see in here he has a job description and the requirements. And if you're concerned about this, just go and say what you want in ChatGPT. It'll make this for you. But the most important thing is at the bottom that says put a link to the audio file in your application or it won't be considered. And you'd be surprised, about 80% of people won't actually do this because they're not reading it. They're not serious. So you're weeding off anybody who's a tire kicker, and you find people who are super serious about doing this. So once you've done that and they've applied, then you need to give them a test task because you're thinking about hiring somebody. They seem pretty good, but you want to make sure. So now that you have maybe 1, 2, 3 people that you're thinking about hiring, send this test task to them. And so this is John's, but you can see he's giving them a structure to follow. And basically the most important thing is he's saying you need to find people that I would find myself and set a timer for 20 minutes, screen record it, and then try to find as many artists as you can. And so you can see if they're good, if they can find enough artists for you, and if they're actually good artists before you even pay them a penny. Now that you've found somebody that you want to hire, you're going to go and give them an award letter that says that they're basically hired. Now, you don't have to do this, but I like to be official because I want them to stay with me for a long time. So I use DocuSeal for the signing. I use ChatGPT to come up with the words to put on here. And then I use Google Docs to go and put all these words in, make a PDF, and then upload it to here. So you go and put in the fields you want, have them go and sign it, and then you're good to go. Okay, so now that you've hired your VA, you need to know how to train them in 5 hours or less, because a lot of people spend way too much time training them and making all these guides. And all you have to do is just go through Zoom or Google Meets, spend an hour every day with them for 5 days. And for me, I only spent 3 to 4 hours doing this, and they were already good to go. But on these calls, just show them what you want them to do for 30 minutes. Then let them try for 30 minutes. And let them make these mistakes. And after they make them, explain that it's not what you want and correct them, and then let them try again. So after a few days, when they're good enough, they can stop job shadowing, and all you have to do is manage them from here on out. And it's just maintenance. So to prove this, you can see this is me showing my VA what to do and then her doing it here. All right. So now the next step is like, how do you give them access to your IG without them knowing your password? So if they're finding artists using Spotify playlists, which is my personal favorite, or Instagram hashtags, then you're going to need to give them access to these things so that they can do them for you instead of you having to do them. But you want to do it in the safest way possible so they don't know your password. So the way that I do this is with what's called 1Password. It's only $2.99 a month, and it's incredibly easy to use. All I do is just go and share a link to the password. They go into this link, and all they have to do is just do a couple of clicks to copy everything in, but they don't actually see your real password. So that way your password is safe. They're able to log in safely and securely and start working for you. Next is why you need a residential proxy. And so sounds really fancy. It's really not. All this does is it gives them a way to log in to your native place in the area without Instagram thinking it's suspicious activity happening and it's showing up as them being in the Philippines and you being in Europe or the US. So it makes it really easy for you to go and have them do all this work for you and never get flagged once. It's super safe, super secure. So I use what's called Proxidize. This cost me $59 a month. VA cost me $350 a month. So now that you have everything set up, you're at a little bit over $400 a month. But if you're already making over $1,000 a month, it's a very, very temporary setback so that you can make a few thousand a month and basically do very, very little. So you go and have them do Proxidize, and you're going to want to authenticate everything so that it shows up as them being in your home area and hometown. So you're going to use these free Chrome Store extensions. And so it's Auto Authenticator or Authentication and IP Royal Proxy Manager. And it's super easy. It's step by step. It walks you through everything, and all you have to do is just copy and paste. So download these two Chrome extensions, and then here's what the dashboard looks like in Proxidize. So I have it set up to the location that's the fastest in the US. So it really isn't my hometown necessarily, but it still works just fine and it doesn't flag me at all. Now you're going to want to copy this here, which is HTTP proxy. You just copy that and throw it in up here into these things. So it's very, very simple to do. And if you don't know what to do, then, when in doubt, just use ChatGPT. It's very easy. But at the end, all you want to do is go to whatismyipaddress.com with your VA, and on their laptop, it should show up this way. And if it doesn't show up as there in your home area, which is I'm close to Kansas City, Missouri. If it doesn't show up near your home area, then you know that something's wrong and you need to go and troubleshoot things. But if everything's done correctly, then it should just showing up as your local town, and then they can safely start sending DMs. All right, so now that you know how to get everything set up, you need to manage your VA. And so you can't just leave them completely, but you pretty much can because they're trustworthy and they're going to work hard and do a good job if you've hired the right person. So I just use WhatsApp to do this, and you can see me sending some communication. If they were stuck at 50 DMs a day here, then I would just ask what's keeping us stuck, and then I would just send some voice notes so they can get a better understanding of things. So if I only send a couple of voice notes, a couple minutes a day, usually by the end of the week between text and voice notes, I've only managed them for about 20 minutes per week. Now that you're there, you can see that they were reporting back to me. They're sending 70 messages every day. And this is only training them for 3 to 4 hours and just managing them for 20 minutes a week. And you can see a lot of responses from really serious artists here, and you can see a lot of them are really down to work with me. So there you have it. That's how to send 70 DMs every single day on autopilot. So you've bought back your freedom and your time so that you can focus on the highest leverage tasks to push your business forward and to actually enjoy producing for a living. And if you've been making great beats for a while now and you just aren't making as much money as you want selling beats online, and you want to make several thousand a month and get $1,000 sales without posting content, without having a following or even any placements or credits at all. And I have a system called the Rapid Sell System. You've seen a lot of producers making thousands a month or thousands a week, even $1,000 days using this exact system that I use every single month myself. So if you're ready to actually get beat sales and actually have a system that works, I offer one-on-one help to do this so I can help you to implement it. I can even hop on a few calls and sell the first few beats for you so you have a good understanding of the system. If you're interested in that at all, book a free call with the link in the description or the pinned comment, and we can go and talk about if this is going to help you to reach your goals or not. So hopefully this video helped you. Lock in that call with me and I will talk with you soon. I'll see you in the next video.